Hello, RailCats fans, and welcome back to the RailCats Talk podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Savetic, and the RailCats have finally done it. They have finally won a series in 2022, and it was against the Lake Country Dockhounds in a thriller of a game. Maybe a slow start, another pitching duel, and wondering if the offense was going to come back and help win helped propel the pitching staff as Irwin gave up one run in the game. But that's all. The Railcats just gave up one run, and that's where you want to be. You give up one or no runs, you're like I said, 99% of the time you're probably going to win a game. So that was awesome. I am happy that happened. And this is their fourth straight win over the Dockhounds as well. Outstanding, just absolutely outstanding. What a game. So I'll just hurry up and kind of get into this because it was a later game. It ran almost 3.5 hours tonight. It was just 1 minute shy of 3.5. So let's go ahead and look at where the scoring came in for the Railcats. It came in the sixth inning where we scored 2 runs. Burgess finally gets his first home run. Actually, back in the um, third inning, he hit a moonshot, which was a very close to being a home run. I mean, it was more of a judgment call because there was no way that a umpire or anyone casually just kind of watching would fully get the concept of. I mean, this ball went over the foul pole, like up over it. If it was a major league stadium, maybe would have had a better idea because the foul pole would have been a little bit higher. But with the foul pole being so low to the ground, it went over the top of it. So it was kind of a judgment call to see exactly where it passed. There was no really good focal or visual point to see, if it roped around it. Burgess thought it was gone. The third base umpire said, no, that wasn't gone. You can come on back. And then he ended up flying out to center field later in that at bat. But in the sixth, he hits an oppo home run to right field to get the Railcats on the board to tie it up. And then after that, Javion Williams comes in and he walks. And then later on, he actually steals a base. He gets the second. And then Wells grounded out to short, but Williams couldn't go anywhere. And then Woodworth hits a single to right that moves Williams to third base. And then Daniel Langlois hits a sac fly out to right field, bringing in Javion Williams. And if the game were to end there, or if there were no more scoring, then the Railcats would have won the game, and we would still be having the same conversation. But we are having a different conversation as well because down in the eighth inning, the floodgates started to kind of open. As we look here, Burgess was first up. He popped out to third base, and then Javion Williams hits a double. Then Wells strikes out, and then Woodworth got hit by a pitch. And then Langlois hits a ground rule double, which brought Javion Williams home for the third run of the or for Railcats to be at 3, but it was a ground rule double. So the odd thing is the Wisconsin Brewing Company Park has bullpens, but they're not gated. All right, so the bullpens are outside of the fencing, but it's not gated. So anything that went into the bullpen is classified as out of play, which to me makes no sense. Why don't you just run a gate there anyways? So that way that doesn't happen. But also, if there was a gate there, Daniel Langlois may not have made a beautiful catch out in left field where he tiptoed into the left field bullpen and then kind of like dove, kind of caught the ball. But that would have probably brought in Woodworth too, and he would have had another RBI. But that Woodworth had to hold it second. But then Cruz came in and walked, and then Rasmussen came in and he hit an RBI as well. I think they have him down for 2 RBIs. which would have brought in, it would have brought in Woodworth and Lingois. So that was the 2 RBIs there. And then it was kind of silent from the rest of the game on the RailCats side of it. Then looking at the Dockhounds here, their only run came into the 4th inning, where Carranza. See, I told you I would get it right. Carranza. It just took me a second to get everything going on that portion of it. Carranza hits a single to start it, but then he gets caught stealing, and then Snyder comes in and he hits himself a ground rule. It was just a double, I believe. He hits a double. Takis flew out to center field, and then Bennett hit a single just past Lingois and Rasmussen, and that brought in Snyder for their 1 run of the game. They're in the 3rd inning. But overall, Chris Irwin started the game. He went 4 2/3 inning, gave up 6 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. I thought he had a little bit more strikeouts. The command, he walked 3 batters, which, from the beginning of the game I was going to be surprised because he walked the first person. So his command was kind of off a little bit. It slowly started getting better. The strikeouts started to come. But he was not the winning pitcher of record just because he gave up that 1 run. But then Zach LeBlanc came in, who is a new guy, which I'll have a couple stats on him in a later podcast. I'm hoping to maybe do something Friday. I'm off Friday, so I may catch up on a little bit of a roster update. But Zach LeBlanc comes in and he pitches 1 2/3 shutout innings, giving up 1 hit, 1 walk, and striking out 2. And then came in another new guy of Stephen Colon. He also pitched 1 2/3 inning, giving up 1 hit, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. And then Carlos Vega comes in, and I think right now Carlos Vega is hands down the hottest reliever that the RailCats have. He has been lights out. Ever since he was in those blowout games with the Chicago Dogs and Lincoln South Dogs. But then outside of that, he has just been lights out. He gave up 4 earned runs in the Chicago 0-13 loss. But outside of that, he has not given up more than 2 runs per game. The last 3 games he's appeared in, no one has scored on him. He hasn't given any earned runs. He hasn't given up any runs at all. So he has been lights out. I have been very impressed with Vega this year. He gets his save. So he went 1 inning pitched and 2 strikeouts. The losing pitcher of record is Duncan Snyder, who gave up the 2 earned runs, and then it was Mimi who came in and gave up 3 more runs there in the 8th inning for the RailCats there. So overall, very good game. There was a lot to be impressed of. Lingois made a beautiful over-the-shoulder catch, I believe, going out to left fieldish, center fieldish. Javion Williams had a beautiful sliding catch. And this is another one where, if he doesn't make this throw, that this could potentially broken the game open for the Country Dockhounds here. Yo hits a opening inning, 4th inning single, tries to push it to a double, and Davian is sitting, the left field gap there, and just beams the ball to Woodworth, tags him out, and that's potentially a game saver there. So he's still got everyone in the outfield has an arm of some sort. Zach Wells had a beautiful diving catch, sort of deal. And then to even end the game, Lingois had a beautiful going towards the foul line catch against Takis to end the game. Sitting here thinking, who I would name my 3 players of the game here. I would have to. It's so hard to kind of choose because Chris Irwin did a beautiful job tonight. but I mean, the defense made some great plays um, to really help out. There was a couple that if they didn't make the plays, it would have been a completely different story. Um, so I'm gonna have to go with Daniel Nguyen, who had 2 hits at 3 at bats, 2 RBIs. Um, I know that Rakusin had 2 RBIs to kind of help open up the game, but just to kind of get him back off the slump, and it was a big turning point in the game. I think it was Chris Burgess hitting his home run, and then I'm gonna have to go with Javion Williams just making 2 beautiful defensive stops to get 2 important outs for the RailCats. So I'm gonna go with Daniel Nguyen, and then I'm gonna go with Chris Burgess and then Javion Williams as well. He also had a stolen base in the game as well. He drew a walk. Javion drew a walk, hit a double, stole a base, and strike out. No, he struck out twice, so he went 1 for 3 with a strikeout and a walk. So those are going to be my players of the game. It was still a very good game. So let's just kind of run through the stats here for the RailCats. Zach Wells went 1 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. Michael Woodworth went 1 for 3 with a hit or with a run. Daniel Nguyen went 2 for 3 with a run, 2 RBIs, and 1 strikeout. Michael Cruz went 0 with 1 walk and 1 strikeout. Zach Rakusin had 1 hit at 4 attempts, 2 RBIs, and 1 strikeout. Sam Abbott went 0 for with 3 strikeouts. Alec Olid went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Chris Burgess went 1 for 3 with that 1 home run, and Javion Williams went 1 for 3, had 1 walk, struck out twice, and scored twice as well. And then looking at the Dockhounds, Schneider, he went 1 for 3, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Takis went 0 for 4 with 1 walk. Bennett went 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Noriega went 1 for 4 with 1 strikeout. Brusa went 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Yo went 2 for 2 with 2 walks. And then Briggs went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Jimenez went 0 for 4 with 1 strikeout. And then Carranza that went 2 for 4 with 1 strikeout, and then Bennett had the 1 RBI for the RailCat, or for not the RailCats, for the Dockhounds. So I mean, overall, it was kind of hard not to. This was one of the games where I don't think, maybe the caught stealing in the first inning by Wells. I know that Snyder made a beautiful pickoff move, and it's something like that. But I mean, outside of that, it was very hard for me to complain about the game. They rallied behind, they got on the board, and they were consistent. I think the motivation's coming. They are now 10-14, right? And just looking at the standings alone, they are a game behind the Lake Country Dockhounds. So if they win tomorrow, they get a 4-game sweep. Then that's what they need. They're going to be tied, so they're going to be able to compete. Because just looking forward when Sioux City comes back in, I think they want a little redemption. I think they need to stay hot. Michael Woodworth and Daniel Nguyen have been hot for this team. Rakusin has been hot for this team. He's had some hits. He's been hitting the ball. Rakusin has. He's been hitting the ball. So that's what you want. He only has 1 strikeout. He grounded out to third both times, but he's hitting the ball. Burgess with that home run, I think that'll help him get his confidence back up. But there's just a handful of people that it's going to be hard to keep out of this lineup. But you're just still going to need something from someone else besides just a couple people, and they got something from someone else to tie the game up, and then the things started to kind of come together. It's about this is what I've been talking about. They may have not been totally consistent in the first half of the game, but they get the home run and they keep tacking on. They go from one inning to just scoring 2 runs, and then not the next inning, but the inning after that, they score 3 runs. So it's just about a consistency thing. You have to stay consistent. When you get runners on, you got to do your job, either move them, find a way to get on base, or whatever the case may be. So that's what the RailCats did today. Great job by them. Happy, excited that this happened. I'm hoping the 4-game series sweep comes in tomorrow. It'll be an interesting one. We just got to keep the pitching going and the hitting going and going from there. But that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for me. I know it was a little quick one, sort of kind of quick, about 5 minutes shorter than normal. But like I said, it's a later game. I got to go to bed. I got to get to work in the morning. So that's going to do it for me. I'm your host, Kyle Svedich. If you enjoyed the podcast, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Also follow me on Twitter and Facebook to get any kind of updates, chit chat, whatever you want to do. I'm always willing to talk with people. This podcast is for people that don't always get to watch the games or listen to the games and want to know what goes on. This is exactly what this is for. Give you a breakdown, kind of a quick breakdown, my opinion, and then kind of move on from there. But that's going to do it for me. The RailCats beat the Lake Country Dockhounds 5-1. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, rest of your evening, whenever you listen to this podcast. And go Cats.